Luxury brand is one of those terms that is used a lot, and I know a lot of you strive to become a luxury brand, or maybe you are even calling yourself a luxury brand. But what exactly does that mean? And more importantly, how do you create a true luxury brand? I'm Gina with Here Comes the Bride Pro, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 crucial elements to creating a successful luxury brand. And I'll give you a hint. It's not enough to do great hair and makeup, put the word luxury in your tagline, and charge more. Is creating a luxury brand really for you? Do you really want to create a luxury brand, or do you just want to be able to charge more? Because there is a difference. And like I said before, you can't just charge more and call yourself a luxury brand. First of all, in order to be a luxury brand, you have to be on your A game. I've been in business for over 20 years and I've seen things change considerably since I first started Here Comes the Bride. And nowadays, with so much competition and oversaturation, again, you have to be on your A game whether you're in the luxury category or not. But if you do want to market yourself as a luxury brand, it is absolutely imperative that you're on your A+ game and all of the aspects of your business, from your systems, policies, procedures, staff, marketing, everything is running smoothly and successfully from start to finish. You must be willing to be held to a higher standard. So this goes hand in hand with being on your A game. As a luxury brand, you're dealing with a certain clientele and you are charging a premium. So expectations are going to be much higher for you. You must be comfortable and familiar with working with a certain type of clientele. As a luxury brand, you're most likely going to be dealing with a more affluent client who has different needs, wants, and expectations than your quote-unquote average bride. And I'm not saying that an affluent client is necessarily going to be harder to deal with, just different. You need to be in the right area. Any larger metropolitan area is going to be a good place to create a luxury brand. If you're in a more rural area, it's probably not ideal. And you must have a healthy money mindset. So we all tend to make up money stories about people or worry that they aren't going to be willing to pay a premium. If you're in a luxury space, you need to understand that there are a lot of people who are willing to pay more if they are confident that your service is worth it. So you need to be comfortable with confidently stating what you charge. So I thought really quickly before we jump into the 3 elements, let's talk a little bit about what is luxury. So I took these definitions from Merriam-Webster. 1 is a condition of abundance or great ease and comfort. 2, something adding to pleasure or comfort but not absolutely necessary. And 3, an indulgence in something that provides pleasure, satisfaction, or ease. So now let's get into the 3 elements of creating a successful, true luxury brand. And they are quality, experience, and aesthetic. And let's go into each one of these now. Quality. In order to create a successful luxury brand, you need to provide the best quality products and services possible. This is where a lot of people get confused, thinking that if they do great hair and makeup, they can charge more and call themselves a luxury brand. The unfortunate truth is that you need to be doing great hair and makeup to be in business, period. The marketplace is too oversaturated with great stylists for you to be doing anything less. So that being said, as a luxury brand, you need to make sure that your work is not only the highest quality, but also very consistent and in line with the style that a luxury client expects. You also need to make sure that you're using the best and highest quality products available. Many of your high-end brides are going to be accustomed to using high-end beauty products such as Chanel, Dior, or Charlotte Tilbury. So again, it's really important that your products and your services are the absolute best quality possible. The second element, and probably the most important, is a customer's experience. So in order to create a successful luxury brand, you need to provide one-on-one attention, personalized touches, and excellent customer service. So I love to go to the spa, and there are 2 places that I typically go. One is a Korean spa that's near my house, and they provide amazing massages and body scrubs, but there are no frills. An hour massage costs around $60. which where I live in Southern California is very inexpensive. The other spa I go to provides great massages and body scrubs as well, but honestly, no better than the Korean spa. Yet I pay about $160 for an hour massage. So the difference is my experience. At my high-end spa, they provide valet parking, lush, luxurious robes, cucumber water, snacks. There's a beautiful quiet room where you sit, and drink tea curled up in a lush recliner with a warm blanket. It looks beautiful, it smells beautiful, and bottom line, it makes you feel special and indulgent. And that is what a luxury brand is all about, how it makes you feel. So when we were still doing hair and makeup services at Here Comes the Bride, some of the special touches that we offered were sending the bride a cute tote bag and a personalized thank you note when she booked her wedding, having high-end beauty products in our bathroom for a bride to take off her makeup if she needed to for her trial run, offering her and her guests champagne. We provided a beauty concierge service, provided airbrush makeup and lashes, and that was included in their service at no extra charge. We would stay for an hour to touch up the bride for photos. We provided a touch-up kit that was wrapped beautifully in a satin bag. And we also provided a money-back guarantee if a bride was not happy with her preview. We also made sure that all of our stylists maintained a certain look, wearing a uniform and with their hair and makeup in a really neat and groomed manner. Our stylists also had to have a certain style of kit and makeup chair and set their products out in a certain manner. Finally, we also made sure that we were readily available anytime a bride had questions or needed some guidance, including giving her an emergency number for after hours. So these are all little touches that luxury bride, that luxury clientele is going to expect. And this all goes back to being really clear on who your ideal client is and again, what they expect. And those expectations are going to be much different and much higher when you are dealing with a luxury clientele and you're charging a premium. The final element is aesthetics. So in order to create a successful luxury brand, everything you do and say must appeal to a high-end luxury client. So just like you need to be clear on who your ideal client is and what they expect out of their experience with you, you also need to be really clear on what aesthetic is appealing to them. So this is true and extremely important no matter who your ideal client is, but even more so with a luxury or more affluent clientele. So if you search online for luxury brands, whether it's cars, hotels, fashion, beauty products, they all have a very similar and most importantly, very recognizable aesthetic. And typically they're very clean in their branding with a touch of opulence and high fashion. And this is probably the one element that I see missing most in bridal beauty companies that claim to be a quote unquote luxury brand. They may have a high quality of work, they do provide a few personal touches to their bride, but their aesthetic does not send a clear message to that ideal affluent clientele. So what happens when this is the case is that you have to do a lot of selling to book your brides. Because you are charging a premium, you have to explain to them why you're charging a premium. And when it's clear in your aesthetic that you are a luxury brand, brides know what to expect. So there's a stylist, and I don't want to say specifically who it is because I didn't ask their permission, but if you want to know who it is, email me and I'll let you know. But they hands down have nailed creating a luxury brand aesthetic. And I also want to point out that just like with any other niche, just because you cater to a certain type of bride does not mean that you can't do other brides. I'm sure that this stylist that I'm talking about does not only do brides that are in the top 1%, but everything about her brand and marketing says luxury. So her potential brides aren't surprised to find out she charges more. They're expecting to pay a premium. So if you are confused about how to create a luxury brand aesthetic, all you really need to do is search online for high-end designers like Chanel, Dior, or Gucci, and you will definitely start to see a trend in the way they present and market their brand. So the bottom line in creating a luxury brand, besides the three elements we talked about, is first of all perception. And that's all your brand is, whether luxury or not, is perception. Everything you do and say is creating a perception in your potential clientele, and this perception leads to their expectations. every potential client has certain needs and wants, and this is going to vary, of course, based on the client, but it is your job to create an image or a brand that addresses these needs and wants and shows a bride that you will be able to meet her expectations, hopefully even before she ever contacts you for information. And I'm telling you, if you can do this successfully, you will find yourself easily attracting and booking your ideal clients. But of course, it's not enough that you create the perception. You also need to be ready and able to follow through. So the worst thing you can do is to tell someone who you are through your branding and then not follow through on your promises and not be able to meet their expectations. And then I finally want to point out, and this is something I go into more detail in my free ebook, so if you haven't downloaded that, it is free, is that how much you can charge, again, whether you're in that luxury category or not, is in direct relation to how much someone trusts you. So if you think about it, in every transaction, there is a risk, and the risk is typically taken on by the consumer. So especially as a luxury brand, your client is paying a premium because they trust that you will fulfill their needs and wants and meet their expectations better than anyone else. So the more trust that someone has that you will be able to do this, the more money they'll be willing to pay. And that's just kind of the bottom line. And then finally, I just want to mention that if you are marketing yourself or want to market yourself as a luxury brand, this will typically mean adopting a little bit different marketing strategy. Some of the marketing strategies and tactics that work for the quote unquote average bride may not work in a luxury space. I hope my information was helpful. If you have any questions or if you're interested in working with me one-on-one to help you create a luxury brand, please feel free to contact me. And please also feel free to reach out and let me know if there are any particular subjects you would like me to cover in my monthly business education. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.